This is for the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
And this is for the players, the PopCulturists PlayStation Podcast. Almost 40 years of playing PlayStation and 5+ years in the games media combined. Thought we throw our hats into the ring and join that PlayStation conversation.
That was really slow. If you would also like to join the PlayStation conversation, you can do so every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, iTunes, and other podcast services. More conversation happens on our Facebook community group page at facebook.com/groups/thepopculturists, but the most conversation happens on our community Discord channel, forever adding new sub-channels. You can get a link for that in the description below. If you happen to really like what we do, please do consider heading over to patreon.com/thepopculturists. Check out the tiers there. There might be something there that interests you. We got that done in one fucking take, dude.
Woo! Woo! No, seriously, and we high-fived that, me even looking. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Ah!
Sports! For those who don't know, we record on Saturdays. Today is the AFL Grand Final, and we are using it as an excuse to day drink. So,
Oh, you are?
yeah. So Craig is over and party poppers, and
Yeah.
he's having a good time. He's super keen for sports. He has no stake in this at all. He just
Me
wants to
either.
day drink.
Hey, do you want to get day drunk and watch the footy after recording for the players?
No.
What did I say? I'd rather watch Markiplier and drink every time he over-exaggerates.
Yeah, Mike, I don't get that reference.
Watch one video and you'll find out how you've been.
I'm good, man.
Good. Playing games?
Yeah, we haven't played a lot of games this week,
I've
surprisingly.
played a few this week too.
Yeah.
Who goes first?
I think you always go first.
I normally do.
Do you want to switch it up?
I don't care.
Cool. Well, this week, I played a handful of games. So,
That smells.
Speaking
that
of-
party popper.
yeah, that part of it smells like a burnt
Smells
hair
like party
smell.
pooper.
Oh. So Craig came over on Monday on my daddy daycare day, and we played This Is the Police again. But we didn't leave off from where you and I played on that stream.
Good.
Started a new game. A lot of the beats sort of are very similar at the start, and then once it hits a point, it just opens up, and you can do whatever you want. Like there's a point where you have to sort of balance between two different sides of the mafia. There's the one mafia, and there's like a young up and comer mafia, and you've got to deal with them, and you've got to keep you've got to after this is like this period of time. This person has to be in the lead, but this person can't. So this person has to be winning at the end of it, but this person can't be losing at any point. Like, but this person can't be losing for more than three days.
Right.
So you have to balance. You have to okay, well, it's been 2 days. This person has to win this day, and then it's a lot of balancing.
Yeah.
But it's fucking fun.
Yeah.
Like Craig and I have created personalities. We've created people out of this face and a name. We've created backstories. We created our own cop show.
Like what we did with Price on the stream.
Exactly
yeah?
with Price. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Forever missed.
Piece of shit.
Fucking bad.
Yeah, Price. We just sacked us straight away in this one. Like you're old. You're crap.
We know how this plays out.
Yeah.
You're gone from the start. Yeah. So we thought old would mean experienced. Old just means inability to do anything.
So this is what happens. So this is the other thing, right? So there was a guy who was the highest ranking person we had, double promoted, looking, points up the wazoo. Fucking comes in drunk 3 days in a row.
Oh man.
Like, dude,
Because he's seen some
we
shit.
have to let you go.
Yeah. Well, he's seen things, obviously.
Obviously he's had some tough times.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun. I jumped into PUBG as always. Speaking of PUBG, jumped into Fortnite for a couple of rounds last night.
Thank you for doing that. I wanted you to do that so we can make a comparison.
Yeah.
Because I also jumped onto it. The Battle Royale mode.
Yes. Well, you talk about your experience with the Battle Royale because.
Well, I only played it. I played it before the actual launch on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I played it on the Saturday, so there were at that point there were no squads or anything like that either. So it was just single player. I've never played PUBG, but it feels like at the moment bare bones PUBG.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I saw, there's no armor, there's no vehicles. It's just you got your forts and whatever guns and bandages you're lucky enough to find. Yeah, and I found for the first 80% of the game, it's not worth building a fort because then everyone's like, there's someone in there, and I'll just fucking throw I'll throw a grenade in there and I'll take all their shit, But I watched a few like little clips online, and once you're in like the final 20, like when the map's getting really small, that's when you can start hunkering down because you can kind of see everyone around you. It's fun. I mean, being in the lobby like before the game is cool when you're just like hanging out with 100 other people, 99 other people.
The best thing about PUBG is because there's a table of guns and it's like have fun.
Yeah.
So like because no one dies in the opening, you're just like
Yeah,
they just like railing into like explosions.
Yeah, in this lobby you can find guns and stuff, but you can't kill anyone. But just hanging out, like dancing with people and stuff. But it doesn't have. I don't think it has that voice chat. Like the local voice,
proximity
chat that PUBG has. Because imagine spawning into PUBG is just a wave of just
it's right. It's
just
racism.
And
it's
horrible
just racism.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun, but it's pretty bare bones. I'm sure they're going to be adding more to it. I know Max is having a great time with it. Our buddy Max. But yeah, I'll jump into it probably every few weeks and just kind of see where it's at and what's been added and what's changed. It's cool. It's fun for the first couple of times. Yeah. And then it gets very because you're playing by yourself and there's very limited things you can do at the moment. It gets a bit repetitive, I think. Yeah.
So with comparing to PUBG, it is a lesser experience. It's still very much earlier access than PUBG's early access. No weapon. So there's no armor. There's no vehicles. So if you happen to fall into the cloud or whatever their version of the force field thing is, you're fucked.
It's a storm.
Yeah, there's no vehicle, which ties into the Fortnite main campaign.
Oh yeah, I got caught in the storm I think 3 times because I didn't understand on the map how it was displaying where the storm is and see where it is, and then I can see where it's going to be. And I didn't realize. I thought when the timer runs out that it starts to shrink, but it shrunk to that point when the timer hits 0. So I've been caught a few times in the storm.
Yeah, and because there's no vehicles, you can't be like, oh man, I'm really far away.
Yeah, and I don't feel like you get a lot of time to kind of hang around the outside because I prefer to wait to jump after the bus has pooped everyone else out. I prefer to wait to get to the other end of the map and try to jump on the side of the map at the other end because you see everyone jumping out at the start. It's like, well, I'm not fucking going there, am I? But I found it shrinks. Well, to me anyway, I don't know PUBG, but it shrinks very quickly. So I feel like if you land on the edge of the map, you're instantly just running for the center anyway. Because by the time you get there with no vehicles, the storm's going to be up your ass.
But in the same vein that PUBG does, it kind of randomizes where it picks the where the center will be.
Which direction the bus comes in on.
Wherever the bus comes in, wherever so it may come in from the south and you happen to land over here. Next time it may come in from the west, But even then, you may come in the west 3 times in a row, but where the main fight happens is very different. When I played, I took out about 4 or 5 people. It felt a little bit easier to kill people than say PUBG. It felt very lonely, very like because even with PUBG, right? Because the way the spatial audio works is even if you are by yourself, you're hearing pops in the distance, and it instantly creates a more claustrophobic experience, but in a good way. So you're always on edge. With this, I felt I'm running around going.
There's room to go.
And then I found someone, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, you're dead now." All right. But I forgot that I could build, so I got into the top 11, 10, and I was just hidden in a barn.
Yeah.
Like, I could rock. And then I was pressing the wrong button, and I built some walls. I'm like,
oh yeah.
And I hunkered down in that fucking barn.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's definitely room to grow. But
the building idea is what will separate it. Because right now it is PUBG.
But it needs to be expanded on a little bit, I think, because you can very rarely you can find traps as well.
Okay.
Because in the single player there's traps you can build, but you find them already built in the multiplayer and you just lay them down. So it's like a floor trap where they walk over it and fucking spikes coming out of the ground. Ooh. Or like a one you put on the doorway, they walk through and lightning shoots them from the door. So there are traps and stuff too, which is cool, but I only found maybe 2 out of the 10 rounds I played, so they're very rare to find. I think they need to expand on the crafting a little bit, like double down on it. That's your point of difference with this. So fucking double down on it and go hard on the forts and all. Because
if they're complaining, if Bluehole who do PUBG, they're like, oh, it's too similar. There's your fix.
Yeah, and it's already there, but I think there's a lot of room to grow with that. Maybe not have so many pre-built buildings in towns, and work it into you maybe finding a small little village of 3 fucking shit buildings, and you build them back up and you get bonuses if you're able to hold people off and
having a squad. I think this game would benefit greater than PUBG if you have a squad, because
people building
if you're building up a little fort, rather than sort of you just building up a small house. If it was you, me and Max, like
but it'd be cool if there was like the ruins of a house, and you can maybe go there and repair the house, and if you do that you get some really cool bonuses. So it's like
So
rewarding
these things may be implemented. We just haven't done them
rewarding
yet.
you for building and, you know, like holding other people off who are trying to come and do the same thing. I don't know. But there's definitely room to grow. I think it'll be a multiplayer staple for a long time.
I think it will be, yeah.
Epic,
and it's free right now.
Yeah,
so
and
what's
Epic
so bad?
obviously gonna be putting a lot of time into this.
Yeah, and I've also been playing. I jumped back into the Call of Duty World War II with the PC open beta this weekend.
PC.
Yeah, it's only because I want an excuse to play it again, and I am so in.
COD boy.
Oh man,
You and your PC and your CODs, and you are not the same gamer you were 6 months ago.
Well, because you know, like I said, I was burnt out on all the shitty old CODs. Where this is good. It's quick, it's quick, but it's slower. It's none of that intricacy jump. It's the same shit I've said before.
A bit more methodical.
More methodical, and like I'm doing all right. I'm holding my own these days because there isn't all that excess garbage. It's
like
back to it's
super moves. And all that kind of shit.
back to what I know COD to be. So for me, it's like second nature. It's coming back, going, you know, this is it. This is good. Yeah. I'm loving it. And I've also dived into a whole brand new experience that you would probably like that I'm playing.
Would.
Is Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. So Danganronpa is essentially a somewhat battle royale, I guess. The whole idea is like there's a murder mystery in a school.
I think you're stretching it a bit for a battle royale.
Well, no, the whole idea is like people just start dying and you know, it's all about be last person standing. Battle royale in a different sense. So you play a character whose name I can't pronounce confidently. Is like, so yeah, you wake up in this school and you're like, this is fucking weird. School's weird. It's all grass is growing everywhere. Windows are hardwired shut. And then you find more people eventually. And then you bump into these things called the Kuma kids or the Kuma cubs, which are 5 little variants of the main villain from previous Danganronpa games called Monokuma. And after you sort of meet the 16 people, this murder mystery begins. Like, people keep dying. You've got to find out why.
It's like a visual novel.
Yeah, so it is. At this point, it is sort of a visual novel. There's a lot of sort of like 2D plane investigating.
What are they
like
called?
a point-and-click adventure, but there is a little bit
like,
of
Monkey Island.
Yeah,
it's called,
but a lot more sort of locked in. It's not as obscure and sort of obtuse in the same way that you like combine 3 random shit and you get another thing that does open one thing. But there are some first-person modes when you're sort of traversing around the school. It's in first person, but you know, everything is in that all the characters are in that 2D cartoon style. So unlike Persona 5 where everyone is 3D rendered, this is flat. So in that way, it does keep a very cool aesthetic because everything is the 2D, you know. And there is a lot of mirror style to say Persona and like the menus and stuff. It's not quite as snazzy as Persona 5, but it's caught my interest in a really interesting way.
Never see you playing these kinds
and it's on Vita. So if I wanted to, I could get it on Vita and play with it. I'm playing on PS4, of course. We've got cross save.
Sounds like a nice game to sit back and just kind of not chill, but it doesn't take a lot of
so
like reflex. You know what I mean? Reflexes and all that.
So
kind of
Persona stuff constantly had that sort of you need to get stuff done in X amount of days. Well, this doesn't seem to have that yet, at least. Yeah. So you don't have to sort of be as stressful as like managing time. It's just like play along, understand who each one of these 16
Persona
characters
on the
are.
surface was, well, it always has been. You know, you got the calendar year. You know, you're there for a year, and every day, you know, things, certain activities make time pass. And initially, it's like, fuck, you know, am I wasting time? Am I using it properly? And then on the Persona loading screen, it's got, you know, take your time, and you really can. I mean, the timer is there primarily just for that's part of the story. You're there for the year. Having that day timer ticking down every day seems stressful on the surface, but it's really not. I mean, you've got plenty of time to do fucking everything you want to do and more. So maybe I don't want you to get back into Persona. I really do.
Yeah, well, you know, this may scratch that itch, you know, but we're also heading to the really insane part of the year, so I'm not too sure about that one.
Okay.
What have you been playing?
Oh yeah, I play games too. Fortnite, as we talked about, we got a code for Ruiner on sometime.
Thanks, Double Jump.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll put probably 4 hours into that. Ruiner is...
Oh, that all?
4 or 5 hours.
Oh, I thought we put way more than that.
No. I'll get into why. Published by... Devolver Digital and made by... Forgot. That's really bad. I'm sorry. So it's this futuristic cyberpunk game. Faux isometric view. Think like Diablo 3 kind of isometric top-down camera angle view. And essentially...
Kind of like a Housemarque sort of view.
Yeah, a bit closer in though. Not quite as zoomed out. I'm trying to. The story is quite difficult to follow.
Okay.
Super interesting. So it's set in the future. Very like I said, cyberpunky. You're in I think South Bangkok. Like you're in the Tokyo area of Japan.
Bangkok's in China, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Renkok. That's what they've called the city in Ruina.
Yeah.
And so you're this cyberpunky dude. You're like an android. And the mission starts. You're going through this big facility to kill the boss of Heaven. And the Heaven is the name of a corporation in the game. And you find out before you get to the boss, this is like the tutorial mission, so I'm not worried about spoilers. You find out before you get to the boss that you've been like overridden by a hacker and they have your brother. And if you don't go kill the Heaven boss, then they'll kill your brother. And even though you're an android, you and your brother are like fucking tight. Yeah.
Okay.
So this girl hacker,
code.
This girl hacker called Her. That's her name, just Her. She like hacks you out of it and like gets you to the slums in Renkok to safety.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where you get into this little hub world that I didn't know the game had. I pictured it being like a Hotline Miami, just level, and it's not.
That's how
actually,
I thought so.
Yeah, and it's actually quite a deep story. The hub world's really cool, really cool lit. The music's really like dark and somber, and really kind of gripping music. And then when you go into the combat, like this electronica, like what you'd expect cyberpunk music to sound like, really electronic, like doof doof doof, doof doof. Yeah. So the story is still unraveling. There's a lot of moving parts, and I found it quite hard to follow so far, to the point where I've read, how games have like what do they call it? It starts with C, where it like catalogs everything and you can read up about everything you've been past.
Yeah.
What's the word?
I have no idea.
Like Destiny's Grimoires kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So, you can read up about this person and this new location and the history. So I've read all 80 that I've come across so far, just to kind of learn a bit more about what's going on, but I still really have no idea what's
going on. Do you feel
that
the story being as vague as it's forcing you to read those, but in a good way?
In a good way, yeah, because they're quite short. They're only normally like a paragraph each. And it's not the story's vague, it's just there's a lot happening, and I feel like there'll be a point where everything kind of clicks into place.
Mm-hmm.
But the main allure of the game is the combat, yeah? It's fucking hard, and that's why I haven't played so much. I need to be in the mood to play that kind of a game.
Yeah.
Because I'm playing on easy, as I do these days, and I'm still getting fucking schooled. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm probably just bad at these games. But there's a lot of buttons to remember. You've got 11 different buttons to do abilities as you're fighting. 11. You got all the triggers: triangle, square, circle, X. What's that? That's 8.
Mm-hmm.
You got the R3, L3, and your D-pad.
They're all different things.
They all do different things, and you can customize what they do through your skill trees as well. And I find combat really frenetic, and I feel like it shouldn't be. Like I'm playing it wrong, if you know what I mean. I feel like you should be able to be methodical with the combat, even though it is fast paced. You should be able to plan ahead. I'll do this, and then I'll zip and dash over there, do that, throw the grenade there. Like Sherlock Holmes, how he thinks about it ahead, and then it's like and it's done in 3 seconds. I'm not good at it, but it is crisp and it's tight and it is very, very fun. It just hasn't clicked for me how to do it efficiently yet, but I'm keen to put in more time.
I believe our buddies at Load Screen gave it about a 9.
Yeah, it's getting really good reviews. It's just,
are you thinking in that direction, or?
So far, yeah. I need to get further through it, and this is why I don't really like difficult games, because I feel like I have to force myself to play them.
Yeah, it pushes all the pushback. Yeah.
Yeah, like the story's got me interested, and I want to know more, but I've got this roadblock of not being good at the game. Therefore, I can't know more, and it gets frustrating. But every time I jump in, I normally at least get through a mission. Like that's my goal. Like turn it on, get through one of the missions, which can be 15 to 20 minutes, and turn it off before you kind of get yourself frustrated and worked up. Speaking of frustrated and worked up, I started Salt and Sanctuary last night.
Yep.
It's going to be my EB Expo game of choice. It's hard. I'm just playing all these hard games, and I don't know why, but the aesthetic's cool, everything's cool.
Salt and Sanctuary is like a side-scrolling
it's a Castlevania Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Not quite as difficult, because you only got the 2D movement.
Mm-hmm.
But it is difficult as well. But the aesthetic's really cool. That's what I love about these games, is that Victorian Gothic aesthetic. And that's my favourite setting in games.
So like Bloodborne that way?
That's why I love Bloodborne so much, but I can't play it because, again, I'm fucking bad at these games. If Bloodborne had an exploration mode where there were fucking no enemies and I could just run around this huge citadel and everything, love it. I'd absolutely love it. We've been talking about what we've been playing for fucking ages.
It's the time we're jumping into the news, where we inform you, the players, what's happening this
We have
past week.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bits of news this week.
Hot dang.
Starting number 1, Rockstar has released a new trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2. It reveals the first official details about the game's story, which will be a prequel and star a new character, Arthur Morgan, not John Marston. Rockstar describes the game as, quote, the story of outlaw Arthur Morgan and the Vanderlind gang as they rob, fight, and steal their way across the vast and rugged heart of America in order to survive. The Did you say Lind or Lind? Vanderlind game, I didn't play the first one, is also known as Dutch's game, which the last game's protagonist John Marston would eventually join and leave. We also see several different kinds of environments, including the expected Old West towns, prairies, pine forests, snowy mountains, and crocodile hiding swamps. Leaks last year suggested the game would be a prequel set to the east of the first game's location. Both of these facts seem to be true given Dutch's younger appearance in the trailer and the description of the heart of America as a setting. So I didn't play the first one, still haven't played. I've got it at home. I've had it for 5 years or whatever, and I haven't played it yet. What were your thoughts on the trailer?
I forgot that because I knew it was happening in like middle of the night, so I'm like, okay, I'm sure I'll wake up.
It was after we streamed, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was after we streamed on Thursday. Forgetting that the Friday here in Australia was public holiday, so I'm like,
I better go to bed.
I'm like, I should go to bed. I got work tomorrow. Public holiday tomorrow. Fuck it. So I played PUBG until 1 a.m. Yeah, I finished the stream. I'm like, let's play PUBG, and then.
Oh, so you didn't watch it?
No, I did. No, because it kicked off at 1 o'clock.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I was playing PUBG, and then coincidentally, I was right in the middle of a match. I'm like, fuck. I don't know how I'm doing. And then, punk, connection to the host lost. I'm like,
that's
sick.
Done and dusted. Thank you very much.
Thanks, PUBG. And then I watched the trailer. The trailer was initially disappointing.
I thought so too.
Because I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna get more character. It's a story trailer. All right, cool. It's Dutch gang. Sweet. It's fitting into the previous lore. It looks stunning.
Of course.
Looks stunning.
They rendered fucking horse testicles.
Yeah.
If you look closely, the horses have balls. I find that fascinating.
And I know that they've added more, so it kind of looks to be in that sort of not Colorado.
Starts with B, Brooklyn.
Like the
No. Where was Mafia 3 set?
That was in Louisiana.
Someone made a reference to it being in a setting similar to Mafia 3.
Yeah, Mafia was like, Louisiana, like down.
Oh yeah,
down there.
Bobby Boucher.
Yeah. So I think because they're out, there is a lot of swamps, so it's probably looking to be around. I think you're moving around the coast. I don't think you're. I had probably some Middle America as well. So you're not just like in sort of 2-3 areas like you were with. Well, essentially two areas. You went to Mexico at some point.
Having not played the first one, I was hoping the trailer would kind of blow me away, but I feel like the trailer had a lot of nods to the previous game, and because I didn't play it,
but not enough to
I didn't get it.
Not enough to like fuck with you.
Yeah, but it's also like there was like a few cuts in the trailer where I'd imagine people that love the first game went fuck, were like whoa. For me, I was like, I don't get this reference, which is my fault. I didn't play the game, I know, but if you're trying to get a new audience in as well, I think the trailer needs to cater more for them.
What intrigues me though is, it is a sequel at the same time, so
yeah.
What do you expect? If it was called, like Red Dead Restoration, it's like it's not really a sequel. Then the references would be stupid. But it's clearly Red Dead 2, Red Dead Redemption 2. The original trailer had the number 2. Now it's the Roman numerals.
Was that the big announcement?
No, release date.
Spring. Changed the 2 to a 2.
Yep, spring 2018. So it's still Q2 next year.
Yep.
Cool. It looks as if you're playing an anti-hero. So with John Marsden being Red Dead Redemption, he's a redeemable character. The whole idea is you've done shit, you've come back, and you're correcting your life to bring it to a point, where you're happy with it again. So with this, I don't know where the redemption part of this game comes in, if it is.
I'm sure there'll be a lot that does tie to the original story, to the first game. I'm sure there'll be fucking heaps in there that does.
Well, it being a prequel, it's not much to tie to, you know what I mean?
No, but I mean, it'll be like something will happen. You'll be like, that's why that's why they did that in the first game.
John Marsden referenced that moment, and you're
exactly.
doing that moment. I'm still keen. It didn't that didn't wow me. I kind of went to bed a bit disappointed.
I was hoping they'd announce a PS4 remaster of the first one so I could play it. I mean, I have it at home for the PS3, but I can't be fucked plugging in. And because I'm using up all my HDMI ports, I have to unplug something and fucking run the cables, and I don't want to. If they had it for like $30 on PSN on PS4, I'd buy it and I'd play it.
I think it's on PS Now. If we had PS Now, bro.
But we don't have that either. You know what else we're never going to have? Vita 2.
Oh,
by the sound of it. Sony Interactive Entertainment President Andrew House sees the handheld market as Andy House. Get a handy in the house.
Never called him Andy H. ever. No,
the handheld market as, quote, limited in the age of the smartphone and has all but dismissed a successor to the PlayStation Vita to compete with the Switch. Speaking to Bloomberg, House explained that, quote, we have not seen brackets handheld gaming outside of Asia as being a huge market opportunity. The Vita experience was that outside of Japan and Asia, there was not a huge demand, House continued. The lifestyle shift towards the dominance of smartphones as a single key device that is always with you was the determining factor. The upshot is that House says there are no plans to take on Nintendo Switch, which has boomed in its first year by combining handheld and home console play. It's disappointing. I find it disappointing.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised at all, but there's always that little bit of hope. There's always in the back of your mind, it's like Sony are fucking crazy enough to try it. They're fucking crazy motherfuckers. They might, but no, we've got a different Sony these days. I think they're playing it very safe.
Yeah.
They've found what works for them because given their market position, like this works. We're not fucking with this at the moment.
See, that's the advantage. So Vita came around, with PS3 where Sony were losing, so they were edgy. Yeah. They were taking risks.
Do whatever we want. We'll just try this. Throw everything at the wall.
Which is what Xbox is doing now.
Yeah.
Crossplay, fuck it, throw it because we can take that risk. You mean like all these things because they're in the place where it doesn't really matter, so they can do that. And then that's the downside with this. So I see their point. Vita was in a time where Nintendo had dominant market. Smartphones were incredibly prevalent. And that was that point of time where there was the concern that smartphones would be replacing consoles. Yeah. So it just happened.
Glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, thank Christ. It was just a bad time. Yeah. And the problem was it was more expensive.
Problem was using their own proprietary memory cards.
That's also true.
I think that was probably the biggest fucking turn off.
Yeah,
for a lot
but
of people.
there was that came from a very conservative place with the idea of PSP being one of the most hacked handhelds ever made.
I mean, I get it, but you shot yourselves in the foot.
They did.
You use your own if you want to, but don't fucking charge $100 for them. Oh my God. I think when I got my Vita, I wanted a 32 gig card, which isn't a lot, but you can get a 32 gig SD card now for like $8. But at the time, it was like $119 for a Sony one. Fuck right off. Fuck right off. But it is disappointing. I long to play my Vita. Same as I long to play the Switch. I look at them, I'm like, I want to give you time. The Switch at the moment, I'm like, there's nothing I want to play. Coming, like, I played the Octopath demo, that was cool. Same with the Vita, it's like, I've kind of played everything I want to play on it at this point, and now because all the support's pretty much gone, there's not a lot coming to it. I finally got Salt and Sanctuary, which is probably the last game I was like, I'm going to get that at some point, which I did. But I don't know about his comment about seeing handheld gaming as limited. I mean, it depends what he means by limited, I guess. But there is a point. So the way console gaming is going now with its 4Ks and its super hugeness, a portable device is limiting. Like, look, a strictly portable device.
Yeah,
sure.
Look right now with the Switch. The Switch is a portable console, quote unquote, but it's running at 720p. That is 8 times the resolution of somewhat standard games at this point. Because most games are either running standard 1080, or higher with the Pro and the One X. So with the Pro and the One X, let's be conservative and say the standard resolution is likely to be 1440p. So we're looking at so when things are running at 720 on the Switch, that's such a massive drop in not just resolution, but they'll also be in texture quality, the amount of textures you can use, the amount of assets you can use on the screen at any one point. So I understand his point is like, where games are heading, that portable experience isn't entirely worth it.
I take what he said as limited by there's limited with how far you can push it. Right? But it's not limited in terms of people that want it.
Yes.
Right? Because you look at the house...
I think he's talking from a technology point, not from a request standpoint.
I'll take it as he means that because the Switch is a runaway success. I mean, it's fucking blown everything out of water. It's beaten PS4 in sales for a few months now. Or it did. I don't know if it still is now. But it was on top in the US and Australia for a couple of months. But the Switch isn't just the handheld, it is that thing. And now if Sony do decide to do something like it, they're just going to get called out for copying Nintendo again, like they did with motion. Nintendo started the whole motion controls, and then Sony Xbox jumped onto it and everything. It's disappointing. I I wouldn't say never, ever, ever. But at this point in time, it is obvious that Sony just don't give a fuck about the handheld stuff.
Look, it's fine because the one thing I do have an issue with here is because the Vita experience was that outside of Japan and Asia that was not a huge demand because you made it that way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the lack of demand outside of Asia is entirely their fault.
Yeah. The Vita still is popular in Asia. I mean, you go to the store now, even on the US and Australian store, and it is just all these Japanese titles.
Yeah.
All been localizing. I can imagine. I saw a picture from somewhere in Japan on Reddit. It was, look at this Vita section in this Japanese gaming store, and it was as big as an EB Games wall of PS4 games, just Vita games. And it's, it's like, yes, it's still okay somewhere.
Yeah, I've kind of given up that fight or that enthusiasm.
I've given up. Yeah. I mean, I traded in 3 Vita games to EB Games yesterday. I still got $35 for them. Traded in a God of War collection, Killzone Mercenary, and Lego Batman.
I want to take a God of War off your hand, but
$35. Cool. Oh, sorry.
That's right. I would have given you one of mine and just trade that in instead.
EB Games Cryo have it if you want to go buy it.
Nah, I'm cool.
Probably charge them like $40.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, disappointing.
But it's expected.
Disappointing, but expected. So Nintendo's just gonna fucking run rampant on that side of the industry,
and that's fine.
That's cool.
It's very weird to let a company
niche.
have a monopoly on handheld, but it's fine.
They've found their niche. Nintendo have, and it's all for them. They're the only ones in that area. And with Sony saying we've got no plans, that just gives Nintendo even the more confidence to kind of.
But they are still pushing it as a console though, so they haven't made that jump yet.
Doing
until the 3DS goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hopefully soon. PlayStation Australia has launched a competition that rewards trophy hunters with real-life platinum trophies. PlayStation Plus Platinum Hunters is described as a competition for gaming connoisseurs.
Oh.
To play, compete and be rewarded for their hours of effort to unlock every in-game trophy. PlayStation Australia has crafted 4 physical platinum trophies to be rewarded to the most passionate players who platinum games. The competition kicks off with FIFA 18 from September 26, where players can share a screenshot of their FIFA platinum trophy to go in the draw to win a physical one. Trophies will also be awarded for those who platinum Gran Turismo Sport and COD World War
and a fourth unannounced film game.
Naktu.
But
so I'm out. Yeah, given the titles that are there, I'm fucking out.
As our friends over at Platinum Explosion would say, plat. Look, for me,
trophies look sick.
Yeah, they look so dope. I'm hoping they have one ABF.
Could you imagine having one sitting right
here? Oh,
dude,
it would be the centerpiece of our studio. But then
you could get a custom one.
I'd have to finish games.
I mean, there's a place in Geelong where you can get custom trophies, mate.
I'm like, hey, can you build this for me?
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. This is like the 50th one I've made this week. I'll have it done in 10 minutes. The template's still on the computer. They look great. Yeah, it's a cool thing to do. It does kind of suck that you go in the draw, though.
Yeah, but it's only because
I get the exclusivity of it. But I don't know.
But they have sort of ran it down in a way that makes it very limited in who will enter, which is good. So it's not just get a platinum; it's get these 4 specific platinums. Then you're in a draw. Yeah. So it's what would it be? Millions for trophies, then down to tens of thousands, then down to, I would say, potentially
so we can't enter it anyway, can we?
No.
From what I understand. Because media, that too. I didn't think media could enter.
No, we can't.
Yeah.
We can't, no.
Sucks. I'll quickly summarise the next one. You might have heard about the Screen Actors Guild strike that's been going on. It's still going until now. After running for nearly a year, the strike against 11 video game companies has reached a tentative agreement which will provide performers with a new bonus structure in the form of additional payments. And they'll also be working with therapists and all that for the vocal stress issues that some voice actors go through.
Yeah, because they have to do like grunts and rolls. And
there have been several omissions of management proposals, which included fines for late or distracted performers. So cool, it's over and done with. Hopefully that side of the industry can.
I'm glad they got an outcome.
Seems like they got the outcome they wanted,
or at least they sort of
compromised,
which is good.
Yeah, I've titled this new segment "Creation Flub." So it's regarding the Creation Club.
You have fun naming them, don't you?
I do sometimes. The first batch of
no
details...
one ever sees them but you.
Yeah, it's me, unless I read them out loud. The first batch of details regarding Skyrim Special Edition's upcoming Creation Club content has been revealed on Steam. VG247 reports that while the main game has yet to receive the update, the Creation Club Steam page is now live, detailing some of the new custom content. The upcoming content includes Mudcrab armor, Oblivion's Ruin's Edge bow, a Crusader armor set for the Sword of the Crusader, as well as survival mode, which could be similar to Fallout 4's hard mode. They should all be browsable in-game and available to download instantly once they go officially live. I don't like it. The Skyrim survival mode is $15. And it sounds fucking horrible. Have you done like any reading about what it is? You can't fast travel. You know, walk around. Think of Legend of Zelda, right?
Okay.
Breath of the Wild. So you got your hot and your cold. You know, you need to keep warm or you need to cool down.
Yep.
Certain armors have different heats.
Yep.
If you jump into a frozen lake, you're instantly dead because it's too cold and you sink.
Sounds horrible.
You can be diseased. You can have
diseased already.
be diseases. So diseases stop your stamina from regenning. Hunger stops your health from regenning, and affliction stop your magicka from regenning. You can have all three at the same time.
Wow.
You need to keep well rested, so you need to sleep. But if you sleep outside, then you don't get any well rested, and you're exactly how you were when you went to sleep. So you need to find beds in inns and all that kind of stuff. What else was there? There's a lot, just a lot of shit that makes me go, this just sounds fucking horrible.
Sounds like a good stream. So that we could do it.
How long can we live for? Or
how long can we
die?
survive and then we just die?
Yeah. But $15, man. For the Fallout 4 survival mode was free.
I'm pretty sure.
It was free. It's on Steam at least. It was free. I don't know about console. And now $15 for this. I mean, I don't really like the creation. I don't like the whole idea.
The whole idea of paid mods.
I like the idea. How it was pitched about, you know, supporting mod creators by, you know, giving them a salary, you know, giving them payments and stuff, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because all the mods that are on there, like the mud crab armor, and like, this is what you come out of the gate with, mud crab armor.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a free mod to give a mud crab a monocle and a top hat, and it goes, wah, wah, as it's chomping at you. That's fucking hilarious, and it's free.
Like, and that's the thing. I know that for a lot of places, that in terms of the PC mods, at least some of the mods that are already created are in fact better than what they're doing on the Creation Club.
I think the website's called the Nessus, where you can go to get all these mods. And yeah, I mean, there are mods that have changed the whole planet. No, you're not, laptop. Changed the whole landscape to like a tropical setting. You know, you got beaches and tropical pine trees and all that, you know, and they're not getting any money for it, are they?
Yeah. Look, I said I would see them, something that, you know, that Joel, our buddies, mentioned as well, was a potential survival mode. It's something they're testing out for the new Skyrim. You know, are we going to see sort of implementations of these new little beta, quote unquote beta tests?
Yeah. They'll see how it goes and go, yeah, we want it in the next game, but we won't put it in the game. We'll make it a paid mod 6 months after the game's released instead, because I don't know. Bethesda are just that company you love to hate. More than Nintendo.
I love them.
More than Nintendo, I think.
Yeah. I love them, but they made some really dumb decisions.
They have.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip this next one because I can't be fucked talking.
He's a great decision. Just run through it nice and quickly.
Atlas have filed
no, that one. The next one.
Okay. Well, I've started now.
Yeah, okay.
Atlas have filed a DMC copyright claim against creators of a PS3 emulator because they got Persona 5 working on it. That's the right use of a DMC.
That's the correct
claim.
use of DMCA. Okay. Thank you very much.
Atlas's quote was unfortunate. The Atlas's quote was, unfortunately, when our content is illegally circumvented and potentially made available for free in a format we do not think delivers the experience and quality we intend, it undermines our ability to do so by diverting potential support from a new audience. Completely correct.
100% correct.
This should be the slam dunk. That'll just be over and done with pretty quickly, I think.
Yep.
It's what a DMC claim is. PS Plus games for October have been released. Got a good fucking month this month.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain for PS4.
Fuck yes.
The Amnesia Collection also for PS4. Monster Jam Battlegrounds for PS3. Hustle Kings for PS3. Hue for PS Vita and PS4. And Skyforce Anniversary PS Vita, PS4, PS3. Metal Gear Solid's fucking solid.
That is a big pull.
That is solid. I might
Unintended.
actually play it now.
You should.
Probably won't.
Should.
But I'll have the capability.
I think you give it a go. I think you'll enjoy the open worldness
Yeah,
and the
probably
stealthy.
will.
It's good.
I should mention too, I also got another game for my Vita for the trip to EB Expo while it was free. Hatto Full Boyfriend.
Oh, dude. I think
we were going to stream it, but we never did.
It's a Vita game. And it was PS3 game as well?
PS4.
It's
on PS4 and Vita.
Cool.
And maybe PS3, I don't know.
In that case, I'm going to put it on my Vita.
Get it before the clock rolls over and you can't.
Because I think that'll be a fun game
I
for
got
us
my
to
Vita,
play.
We should play
At the
side
same
by
time.
side
And
and,
just- and
make
make
different
different-
choices and see how we go.
Different what bird fuck am I going to do?
And the
Speaking of games.
final bit of news, top selling games for the week ending 24th of September 2017. Starting number 10, Ark Survival Evolved. Number 9, Rainbow Six Siege. Number 8, Ghost Recon Wildlands. Number 7, Uncharted The Lost Legacy. Number 6, GTA 5. Number 5, Marvel vs. Capcom. Number 4, Crash Insane Trilogy. Number 3, Project Cars 2. Number 2, Destiny 2. And number 1, NBA 2K18.
Project Cars 2 was a nice surprise in there.
Yeah, and NBA 2K18 shouldn't be up there.
Yeah, it's all it's microtransactions.
Yeah, what a let's use virtual currency to change my hairstyle. Someone said they had to play to make their custom character playable in like the campaign. They had to play for 24 hours worth of currency to the point that character was actually competent to fucking do anything.
Wow,
It's fucked. It's done.
it's horrible. But anyways, we head into the main topic of the show. Now, this one, there's not a big thing we want to discuss or anything. It's just sort of this article I found that I wanted to sort of break down and just talk about, really. So it was an article on...
Do you want to quote the article?
Yeah, what was it from?
Kotaku.
Kotaku. This article's from Kotaku. Essentially, it was about
Jason Schreier.
Yeah,
right?
you want to...
I'll skip.
So essentially, the whole idea is...
I got it here.
Yeah.
I got it here. Designer and programmer Charles Randall, who has worked for companies such as Ubisoft and BioWare, wrote a long thread that went viral on Twitter and is worth reading. And it's been summarized here. So a quote from Charles Randall. The other day, a friend commented to me, "I wish game developers were more candid about development. He was surprised when I said we are. The caveat is that we're only candid with other industry people, because gamer culture is so toxic that being candid in public is dangerous. See the recent Twitter thread about game design tricks to make games better, filled with gamers angry about being lied to. Forums and comment sections are full of Dunning-Kruger specialists, I don't know what that means, who are just waiting for any reason to descend on actual developers. See any thread where some dumbass comments say how easy it would be to do, say add multiplayer or change engines. Any dev who talks candidly about the difficulty of something like that just triggers a wave of people questioning their entire resume. Questioning here being an absurd euphemism for becoming a target of an entire faction of gamers' harassment or worse. There are still topics I can't touch because I was candid once and it resulted in dumb headlines, misunderstandings and harassment. So while I talk candidly about certain big topics right now, I know doing so would lead to another wave of assholes throwing shit at me, and of course I face almost nothing compared to women, POC, LGBTQ and folk."
Yeah, so this...
It's basically saying we're all assholes, and we are.
Yes, this got me thinking. I'm like, well, is the game's quote-unquote industry that toxic? The game industry, no, I think, but...
The industry,
no. I don't think the game's media is certainly circulating the issue. Yeah. So, what do you think? Do you think gamers are that toxic? Gaming culture?
Depends where you go, right? I found, funnily enough, Reddit to be some of the most level-headed gaming discussions.
Which is weird. I thought that was scum and villainy.
But it's not, yeah, because every subreddit has its mods, and there are rules, and if you break the rules, your post is deleted. If you break a few times, you're banned from that sub, and you can't go there anymore. So I found Reddit can have a lot of intelligent discussion about things, very reasonable, but... If you go to here's an example that I've kind of had, right? Back when World of Warcraft launched, the community manager for Blizzard, the representative, was called Ghostcrawler. That was his forum name and everything, and he was always in the forums, like every thread he'd be commenting and he'd be chatting with people and everything, and it was amazing having that. Hey, you could title a thread, "Hey Ghostcrawler, what are Blizzard doing about X?" And within 15 minutes, you'd have a reply from someone working for the company being like, "Oh, well, they're working on it now," or "We didn't know about that bug. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. We'll get on it," yeah? And then over the years, it got to the point where he'd come to the forums and he'd be like, "Hey, guys, here's an update from Blizzard, blah, 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 blah."
And then...
No, but then everyone would be like, "Well, why the fuck aren't they working on this? Why hasn't this bug been addressed yet? Where the fuck is this? Why is the expansion so expensive?" And to him personally, yeah, and he's just the community manager, right? And it got to the point where it got to personal stuff, people like looking up his details and all that kind of shit. The point where he bounced, he was like, "I can't do this anymore because anytime I say anything regarding anything, I just get fucking destroyed by thousands of people." And now, Blizzard have new community managers and all that kind of stuff, but there's not that much interaction anymore. So they jump in, go, "Here's a thread, here's the update of what's coming, I'm out." because they stay around to chat and they get fucking destroyed by people. And it's not just Blizzard, same with Bungie as well. You know, they launched Destiny 1. Same thing. Bungie used to be very open and candid with their audience, and now they're not, because anytime they just cop a heap of shit. And, you know, and I think people underestimate how hard it is to actually, like, there's something on Destiny 2 right now, the Mida multi-tool, which is a scout rifle, right? And the stats are like 90% of players in PvP are using this weapon because it's that fucking good. And people on the forums are like, fucking nerf it, I've had enough of it, I hate it, you know, nerf it. And they don't understand that, like, you can't just, like, okay, well, we'll take the damage down a smidge, because then that
sort of slider.
Yeah, it's like I think people underestimate how difficult things actually are, especially on a game of that scope. And I watched an interview the other day, say what you will about this man, with Randy Pitchford. Okay, you know, long and storied career he's had. But he did have a quote that I was like, I kind of feel you on that one. And he said something along the lines of, as soon as Alien Colonial Marines was announced, everyone instantly had this image in their head of what the game was going to be. And we were fucked from the start. Yeah,
but he also sold it.
But yeah, other than that, you know, he did go on, he also fucked it himself. He made it that way. But it is also true, is, you know, a game will be announced and I'll be like, we'll see a minute footage of it and I'll be like, this game looks great. And then you instantly start filling in all the blanks in your head, and you
No Man's Sky.
You start building this game in your head, and you're like, well, it must be this, and you interpret it this way and that, and then it comes out and it's not that at all. And then you look back and go, well, they never said it would be like that. It was just my expectations had brought it that way. But instead it's, why isn't this game exactly how I thought it was going to be? You fucks. And
I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to kill you and your family because you're an asshole. But it is. It's always comes back to the anonymity of the internet.
And
because there was a social media platform at one point, or a forum or an app or something, that wanted to force everyone to use real names.
Google.
Was it Google?
With YouTube.
Yeah. And backlash against that. You know, that never happened, obviously, because everyone was like, no.
It did, but
you can hide it now. But could you imagine if it did go that way? Do you think it would change the culture at all? I think
no, just make fake count.
Oh yeah.
But that, you know,
Dickie McDickinson.
That's also legally questionable, so it's kind of that weird thing, right?
I know, yeah, it's just we've become a very entitled bunch.
Yeah,
and I'm not talking about anyone individually, just as a collective.
Yeah. The minority is ruining for the majority. You know, like there are millions of,
because it is the vocal minority.
Yeah, the millions of gamers, you know, are like, oh, that's kind of cool. Wish they had that, or but you know,
that's why when you go to forums and that, if someone's enjoying a game, they'll very rarely go to the website and go to the forums. Yeah, it's just, you see all this hate on games forums because they are the people that are passionately hating the game, and that's why they're all there. And the people that do like the game, like, why would they go there? They're playing the game because they enjoy it. Or they go there and give some constructive feedback and then just get fucking destroyed by this whole other community of people like, what do you mean you like it? This game's fucking shit. I fucking hate you. I'm going to kill your face. Yeah,
and I think that's but we that line right there is there's no longer, oh, you don't like it, that's cool, I don't like it, you know, I like it, these are the reasons. Oh, okay, cool. There's none of that discussion anymore. It's just yelling into the void, which is predominantly what the internet is. Like, we're yelling into the void right now, and hopefully some people want to listen to it. You know, and that's the thing is, you know, the internet's given everyone a voice, and majority of people use that voice to be fucking assholes.
Yeah, and then people get mad that the devs don't come in and talk more, but then they come in and talk, and there's just waves of bullshit thrown at them. So, like, if it was me, I'd be like, you know, hey Josh, can you jump over to the forums and talk to the community for a bit? Not a fucking chance. Not a chance in hell. Because you get the diehards that do like go like background you and find out, you know, where you live and, you know, all that kind of shit. I've seen that before too on like Reddit. You know, not Reddit, fucking, I think it was NeoGAF or something. Here is so-and-so, you know, so-and-so is the CEO of so-and-so. Here's his address, here's his family members and where they live. And it's like, that's just not okay. Wasn't regarding games, I don't think. I don't remember. It was a while ago. But that's just not cool.
Yeah, I think the article is spot on. There is a toxicity in games that is detrimental to games as a whole, and it is helping, and it's hindering the progression of games as a legitimate art form.
Take your experiences in PUBG, for example, when you spawn into that opening world. What do you hear?
Racism. Just straight up racism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like people, you know, those moments like that are helping continue the stereotype of what gamers are to people, and it makes it harder for us to be like, yeah, we want to work in games.
Yeah. Well, why?
And like, why? Like,
you get put into that category.
Yeah. Like, granted, you know, as games are becoming more and more prevalent, you know, this is, you know, 10 years ago would have been the worst, but it's disgusting. The behavior that we see through games is disgusting. And there's a game. The problem is games media circulates that shit as well because it gets clicks. We live in an age where regular news is all extreme. It's jack everything up to 11 and use that. So like, oh my god, someone said this one thing that was someone's misinterpreted. Jack it to 11. There's a clickbait title. There's an article on it.
And it's these two very new technologies, one more newer than the other. But video games and social media are essentially, they're growing up. They started around the same time. You know, video games...
In terms of
video games were very niche up until probably the mid-2000s. Well, the PS2...
90s-ish,
late 90s, like the PS2 era is where... And N64 is where it really started to
when
get mainstream.
when PS2 started getting into every house. Yeah.
So you've got social media and video games, and you got that age graphic of people all growing up at the same time, and it's just made a bad mix because you didn't have, like, gaming wasn't at that point of let's have civil discussions about everything. You know, we're a very, you know, nice community. Oh, I don't like this game, why not? Oh, well, here, you know, I don't like it because blah. Oh, we didn't do that because blah. Oh, that makes sense. Or, you know, so gaming wasn't at that point, and social media has just been a clusterfuck ever since it was made. And then you got these kids growing up with it who think that social media thing is normal, and then it just bleeds over into everything else. And these things are just like a rabid circle of fuckery. Like,
so we can sort of, you know, we have first-hand experience in the same, like, not in the level of Jason Schreier has, that's for sure. But we're like, you know, we've talked to PR people, we've talked to devs and that sort of stuff, and they are quite candid, they are quite open about the press because they're doing what they like, doing what they love.
Yeah.
So if you ask them the right questions and you're on a dickhole, like, they'll give you all the time in the world. You know, and I think that's
like when we see like when we see videos of at conventions of, you know, people that aren't us, and you see how they talk to devs at booths and stuff, and you're like, dude, what are you doing?
Or when people ask questions in a Q&A and it's cringy.
Like, it's like, man, just because you've got a media badge doesn't mean you're all buddy with the devs and you can say fuck this and fuck that and, you know, shit on all this. Like,
but I mean, like, you know, even if you have a media badge, the whole, like, you know, there is a mutual...
Well, there should be, but I'm saying there's a lot of times there's not. We've seen videos of people talking to devs at conventions, and we're looking at them just going, what on earth are you doing? What are you saying? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And then they're not there the next year after that. So,
yeah.
You know?
Or their YouTube channel died pretty quickly.
There is a quote from someone who was very prevalent in the gaming industry up until recently that I really like, and it's normally the sign-off line. It's just, be good to each other.
Yeah.
Love that line. Colin Moriarty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love that line. And that's what you got to do. I mean, you know, the culture as a whole is like, we want you to talk to us more. We want you to talk to us more. And it's like, well, we will. Just back the fuck up.
Yeah, but like every time we have, it's a demonstration. Like, you're like, hey, but you know, like I love you, man. You're like, every time you beat me, all the time.
Yeah, and I've seen it on the Destiny 2 subreddit. You know, leading up to the launch, it was just all this hype, man. All this hype. Like, I'm so excited to play. I've taken time off, threads and threads of it. And then the first week, it's like, this is amazing. This game is the best. And then from week 2, you see it starting to go down. It's like, I'm bored. Why isn't there anything to do? This is imbalanced. Bungie, please fix. Where's Bungie? Bungie, come talk to us. And I've seen it go like just, and now this is gaming culture. Like, it's back where it should be now. And I don't know.
But yeah,
not much more to say about it. It's just, I hate it. And it's pretty much the reason why I avoid nearly all forms of social media where I can. You know, I have Facebook purely for this, for PopC. I have Messenger just to talk to a couple of the guys that don't have Facebook or whatever. And Discord, because Discord is a very controlled environment, and that's it. You know, it's a safe place. It's, you know,
something like with social media, man. Like if I could pull it, I could, but I would. Sorry, but I can't. It's so ingrained in what we do, we can't.
Well, it's not ingrained in what we do. It's ingrained in the very essence.
I mean, we as a culture.
Yeah, in the very essence of humanity, right now.
Yeah,
it's everything.
But don't get me wrong. This doesn't void everything I've said, but there was a time where I've only ever had one trolling experience.
What, where you were the troll?
I was the troll.
Oh, man.
It was the big day out announcement that Kanye West got announced.
Oh, no, you had every right to troll.
Oh, yeah, I had fun.
That's fine.
I had so much fun on the
You
Facebook
and
page that
30,000
day.
other people.
I did it for like 3 hours. I was like, that's enough. And then stopped.
What, just fighting against people that were like, yeah, Kanye.
Oh, yeah, just sort of like just giving big day out shit because they had a horrible lineup. Because like 2 days before, Soundwave announced a very insanely good lineup.
Yeah.
And then like this, and I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
How old were you?
At
that time?
19.
Oh. Yeah, well, you hadn't quite grown up yet.
Yeah.
Still haven't grown up now.
But anyway, that's old news.
That's our big ranty rant about the industry as a whole. And, I'm
what
very happy. I'm very thankful for the community that we have.
Yeah.
As small as it may be, we have got a great group of people that we can talk to about anything, any day. And it's always very cool discussions.
Very lovely.
back. Even the back and forths we have sometimes are constructive. They're never toxic.
Even right now, I'm in the middle of a lovely DM conversation with a gentleman through the Facebook page. He found us, just asked a couple questions, sort of like, hey, you guys talk about like tech and like I'm looking for a TV for my Xbox One. You just talk about your PS4 Pro and what would you think? I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And we've had this ongoing conversation. It's really nice.
Nice. I don't know why I don't get that. Probably turned off notifications.
You probably did. But anyway, because that is, look, what's your thoughts on the gaming industry in terms of that culture? Are you part of it? Do you not like it? Comment below. Let us know. Be nice, of course. This is what games are coming out this week with coming to the players.
Not many this week, about 11 games, starting with Batman, The Enemy Within, PS4 retail, Battle Chasers, Night War, PS4 digital and retail, Battle Garega Rev. 2016, PS4 digital, Detention, PS4 digital, Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen, PS4 digital and retail.
Is that your one?
What?
Is that the one you were excited about?
I didn't know about it until now.
No, what is that the old isn't that the old the old Vita game?
No.
What the hell fuck game was
PS3.
that?
This was on PS.
What was the game that was announced at TGS?
Dragon's Crown.
Oh, my apologies.
A lot of dragons in Japan.
Yeah.
Expand, PS4 digital. The Hunter, Call of the Wild, PS4 digital and retail. Judge,
it's Judge, but
it's not
with a
Judge
Y.
because it's got a Y. It's
Judge.
It took our Judge. PS4 digital. Mystic Bell, PS4 digital. Save the Ninja Clan, PS Vita digital. Twin Robots, PS4, PS Vita digital cross-buy. WRC7 digital and retail.
Not much.
So the new episode.
I can't even recommend anything.
New
really.
episode/season for the Batman Telltale series with Harley Quinn, I believe, from art we've seen. She looks pretty rad.
Yeah.
But I'm just still at my fill with superheroes. I'm still just
apart from the shirt that I bought.
Yeah, and ripped.
Oh man!
When you tried to pull the tag off.
I was like, oh, this tag's annoying me. Rip. I gotta fix that. So I had to stitch it back up before I came in.
I bought it yesterday. My wife will kill me.
Yeah,
I'm
tired. Oh no, because she yells at me. She's like, "Did you like?" I'm like, she's like, "Hey," I went, "What?" Because she was having a nap, and I'm like, "Hey, do you know where the needle and thread is?" She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "I ripped the tag on my shirt." She's like, "You fucking did it again." I'm like, "Yeah."
I thought I had it this time. But
and we did have one question come through. If I can pull that up.
But yeah, I'm totes burnt out on superhero stuff.
Yeah, I'm a little bit too.
I miss comic books, man.
I do miss
but
comic
I look
books.
at my collection on the shelf and I'm just like, I take it or leave it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This question came from the old Jono Peck, one-time guest of the show.
Phone's loading really well.
It's been horrible. Oh, and of course Max gets in there as well. Oh, that's
Max's question will be, why aren't we playing the Dark Souls board game with him today?
Hey, he totally could come.
Could
have, but we didn't. Jono asks, which third-party game do you think will make the biggest impact on the final few months of this year?
PUBG on Xbox.
Yeah. I think
it's all but confirmed at this point that it will be coming by the end of the year. I was watching Kind of Funny Games Daily, the last episode with Danny O'Dwyer today. Quite sad. We missed Irishman. Sorry, on Danny O'Dwyer, no clip coming out on Monday. It's the Witcher series. 6 episodes at 25 minutes each.
Hot damn.
I'm excited for that. What are we talking about?
Best third-party game.
Oh yeah, and there was an article they read. I forget who it was from, but it's all but confirmed. Microsoft using the word exclusive really fucking loosely again, but it's all but confirmed that because Microsoft helped PUBG with development and everything as well, so they're working very closely together. So
for the consoles.
For the consoles, yeah. So it is coming exclusively to the Xbox consoles by the end of the year, but they're still in talks with Sony about it coming over to PS4 eventually.
I think they'll probably have the biggest prevalence, the biggest impact by the end of the year. Outside of that, the big third parties are obviously like Wolfenstein, Call of Duty, Battlefront 2. I don't like.
Do you think Battlefront 2? I mean, it's going to be popular, but do you think Battlefront 1 kind of put a lot of ill will in people?
I think so, but I think by them coming out and going, hey, we've got a single player. It's big. It's technically canon. We got Shiva from the League. She's playing the main chick, and and then everyone does a obligatory Shiva blast.
Yeah. Shiva can
beauty Sabakra. So I think they've put enough effort into it, and they've corrected a lot. This is that sort of that open feedback, like candid feedback. I think they've corrected a lot of the issues that they were previously having, and I think they're at a place where they're like, we'll be in there. So I think PUBG would be huge if it gets a confirmed date. I think Battlefront 2 is probably likely to be there. Everyone loves Star Wars, and if it improves on it and the story is good enough as a standalone story, I think it could really have a good impact. But I think South Park, Assassin's Creed, all those others. I don't think any.
South Park's a little too niche. Not niche, but it doesn't have the pool that COD obviously.
Yeah,
does.
I don't think it'll be that big end of year boom. Like I think Red Dead would have had that big end of year boom if it did come out in October, like originally said it was going to.
Yeah.
But everything else doesn't seem to be in my thoughts to be that big. Like.
Yeah, I'd say like the top 3 will be COD, Battlefront, and PUBG.
In terms of numbers, yes. In terms of
pool.
Reception, probably I'd change that around. But
PUBG, there's just a final whatever talk. There's the biggest gaming convention in Italy is happening yesterday, and PUBG tried to have a tournament there, 64 players, an official no.
That you say time recording
an unofficial tournament. So there's 64 people in a room, and the PUBG servers were down. So they couldn't do it.
Yeah,
that's why you don't try to hold tournaments for games still in early access.
God dang. What do you think will be the biggest game to come out? The biggest third party come out at the end of the year? Because I think the biggest game of the end of the year in terms of just games would be Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh, like game overall?
If we're including all games, but as third party, it's not third party. So I think it'll be one of the biggest games at the end of the year.
Yeah, probably. If you like that PlayStation conversation, you can join in another one and many more every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, we should mention that next week, we'll be off at EB Expo, so we're not quite sure when For the Players will go up, but it will be an exclusive convention coverage one, potentially by the pool. We may be in shorts, maybe a little bit buzzed.
May have our titties out.
That's what you're doing.
Every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, iTunes, and other podcast services. More conversation happens on our Facebook community group page at facebook.com/groups/thepopculturists, but the most conversation happens over on our Discord channel. You can get a link for that in the video description below. If you happen to really like what we do, please do consider heading over to patreon.com/thepopculturists. Check out the tiers there. There might be something there that interests you. Make sure you tune in next week for EB Expo coverage. I'm Josh Saunders.
I'm Ryan Betson. And that was For the Players.
Really threw you off there, didn't I?
You totally did.
Yeah.